Well, let's cross to London now, and I'm joined by David Buik at BGC Partners. David, welcome.
Happy Easter to you, Tikki. Greetings.
Now, big slumps in markets across Europe overnight, your time. Is this latest Spanish scare really significant in the scheme of things?
It's just, how can I put it to you, another carbuncle on financial society, really. It's all been swept under the tent. I'm afraid gnarled old cynics like myself are not really the people to talk to if you're looking for a really upbeat statement, because I'm afraid none of us believe any of it. The fact remains is that the European Union was obliged, regardless of anything, to hold the European Union together. But as long as night follows day, there is no way that countries such as Greece, Portugal, Spain and Ireland can deliver the wholly necessary austerity measures and deliver growth.
Well, I was
some of these countries.
Yeah, I was going to. Sorry, David. I was going to say that here we have Mario Draghi saying that the jump in Spanish and Italian borrowing costs were markets asking these governments to deliver on austerity. It just seems crazy that could actually happen now.
Well, I don't think it really is. The fact is that they're not prepared to deliver or are unable to deliver these austerity measures. I think they've been extremely aggressive, Italy and Spain, in getting their paper away. And the trouble is that when they resort to the short end of the market, i.e. 5 years or less, people are very cynical, because what they're saying is they haven't got a balanced way of borrowing. They should be borrowing much longer. But the fact that they know they can't get their paper away. So just taking Spain, we've seen the yield go up from about 5.35 to about 5.70 in 1 week. Now, people will say, well, that's not that much. When you're, costing the cost of borrowing, that is enormous. When Germany pays 1.8% for its 10-year notes, and the UK about 2.5%, and here we have Spain at 5.7%, it's an astronomical sum of money. But basically what the market's telling us is, sorry, thanks for all the wonderful rhetoric, we don't believe any of it.
I see protests, of course, again overnight in Greece, and Olli Rehn, the Europe's economic commissioner, now warning of a further bailout for Portugal on the cards within 12 months.
I think it's highly likely, even though I think I would like to bracket Portugal, which again is a small population like Ireland has in comparison to other European countries, are making a really fantastic effort to implement the austerity measures, even though they've had political unrest and difficulty having a government, that is unified behind the thought process. But the fact remains is it's very unlikely that they won't need some kind of a bailout. But I'd be more in the mood to trust Portugal over a period of 5 to 10 years that they could service debt, repay it and grow their economy than I would many other countries, particularly Spain.
We've had the ANZ chief here, Phil Chronican, saying today that one of the problems is there's so many different timetables and so many different pieces of regulation because everybody's wanting to be seen to be doing something, that this around the world, that this has been incredibly counterproductive.
Absolutely, because as you say, it's been an absolute higgledy-piggledy mess with absolutely no orchestration in terms of how it's delivered. But the basic nub of the problem, Tikki, I believe, is labour costs, which have been allowed to get wholly out of hand, even though people are crying poverty, probably with some justification against the cost of living in their specific countries. But labour costs are far, far too high. And until there's a plan over the next 5 years to get those labour costs down, and believe me, that'll be absolute penury for some people, this situation is not going to improve. And therefore, I hope that the European politicians who've been running around like ostriches, or if you prefer headless chickens, in terms of having a solution to the problem, have got contingency plans of how they're going to deliver either a two-tier European Union, whether they're going to have certain people members of the euro or not, whether it's going to be done over a 3 to 5 year period. At the moment, all we're getting is platitudes.
Can I take you now to the Murdoch empire? Because James Murdoch has, of course, resigned as chair of BSkyB. Some suggestion that might be enough for News Corp to look at another tilt at BSkyB, in 12 months' time.
Let me be candid with you that I am an unabashed fan of News Corporation and an unabashed fan of BSkyB.
We know
I'm
this,
not a fan of hacking. I'm not a fan of hacking. I think it's disgraceful. I think James Murdoch's handling of it was not good. He's not a newspaper man like his old man is, who's over here obviously making sure the Sun on Sunday gets off to a really good start. But he's a brilliant pay TV man. And I have every reason to believe that if we can get over these hacking situations, which of course their peers in this country are having an absolute field day and making an absolute nonsense of some of it anyway, though nobody condones any kind of hacking, I believe that BSkyB is a sensational opportunity over the next 5 years. And if people think that the Murdoch family are going to give up the ghost on this, dream on. They're absolutely up for the fight. They may only have 39% of BSkyB, but can you imagine if they got Sky Plus in just a country like Germany? Their earnings would be absolutely brilliant. And I have every reason to believe that when the dust settles, Uncle Roo and the clan will be back for the balance.
David Buik, happy Easter.
And you too.